Hello, it's Sherb. How are you? Welcome. Thanks for popping by. I just thought I would just do a few more of these cards. What I do, instead of buying business cards, which I did for many, many years, I do an A4 piece of cardstock. I jelly print it, and then I put it through the printer with all my information on the back, my email, my phone number, and I just say that it's acrylic paint and a mono print. So it's a nice little piece of artwork that people can choose to pick what they like, and it's quite an original little picture thing just to do. So what I'm going to do is load up the plate with a variety of colours, and of course I've got orange, red, bit of gold, bit of bronze or copper, and some turquoise. So and then just I don't want to put too much on the plate, she says, ha ha ha, and put a bit of bubble on it, and I've got a couple of stencils here somewhere handy where I can reach them. And yeah, so if I'm using, I want to print an A4, so if I used a smaller plate, I'd have a margin. So if I use slightly larger plate, I can just put paint up to the outer edges, and I get a good coverage. Anyway, we'll see how we go. You know, it could be absolutely fabulous, or it could go to custard. One never knows. But anyway, it's all about having a bit of fun. So I will endeavour to just put a little drop of colour here and there, and that's probably heaps. And oh, there isn't there. Wondered where the browse are gone. They're right there. Little bit of crimson. These two, Crimson and Scarlet Lake, are both creative artist paints, and the other one is a Montmartre Studio. So I'll put a little blob of that there. So this is between the two colours. We'll pop a bit of this around the place, see how we go with this. Oh, she says doesn't want to play. I think it needs a bit of water to it. So we might add a bit of this very cautiously, because this is the very runny, although they have great colours and they're inexpensive to play with. The Semco acrylics, they are very liquid, so that's why I put them in in these little squeezy bottles to reduce the damage. So we'll just dab a bit of yellow around there, and I still haven't got a bit of copper, so perhaps a bit of copper. There is that beautiful champagne colour that would give a bit of sparkle to these as well. But anyway, we'll see how we go. So I'll just start with, I'll start up here, and I don't want to mix them too much because I want to be able to see the colours. And if I do just mix them all, they'll obviously just go to a brown muddy mess. So that's probably okay. And I'll put some bubble on that. This is the large bubble. Right. And that, of course, you can put a print on the top of that. So we'll get this here, and we'll take it to the edge. And of course we're going to put some Sumi ink over the top of this, and then some little bit of gold through stencils and things. So just jazz it up a bit. lovely colour. So see, even though I did a lot on that plate, so I'll just give that a bit of a tap on here, I think, on this edge. Of course I'm going to get covered in paint, but that's part of the course. I missed a bit on the corner. And a little bit over there. So, right. So the bubble gives a lovely texture. So I'll just put that aside. And I don't think there'll be much happening there, so but I will pull it off, and I'll actually, just to clean the plate up, a little bit of this, clean it up, and then I'll actually get the bubble, and I'll take off a bit of bubble. So that gives a bit of a base for the next one. Oh gosh, the plate is so sticky. So I'm going to pop that down there on top of that, because I just want that to flatten out. And it's got a few little wet spots, but that's okay. We can do whatever we want to do over that, and we'll just see how we go. So I have this stencil here, and I just thought I would I've got a little plate here that I can put a little bit of gold on there. And where that's red there, I can just do a few lines. I don't want to do this because it looks a bit ordinary. And she said, oh, I've got my little dabbers. Oh, I haven't, so I'll just use the brush. So little random lines, and then we can come and do some the opposite direction. And this stencil is one I made myself, and I did start using a heat tool, used for making marks on wood, and it had a scalpel in it that you could heat and cut with it. But the downside to that was that it was so hot it actually melted the edges, so I ended up actually cutting it by hand for the most part. So, but anyway, if you want to persevere, I would suggest that you actually do the draw it all out first, just to help you make a grid. Oh, I've lost my dotty ones. Oh, no good. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to do a few black dots. And a bit of black paint. So I have been very busy with the art trail this last week, and got a few days off. And tomorrow I'm going for a drive to Margaret River to view all the pasta dishes. There was a few of us made about 200 pasta dishes that are all on show at the Heart Gallery in Margaret River. So they're all going to be there, so you can pre-buy them. They're actually a fundraiser, so they have a restaurant that you take your bought plate and fill it up with a pasta dish, a lot of vegetarian dishes, and so there's lots to suit every palate. and they and all the funds go to local charity, which is a good thing. Anyway, so that's sort of building up okay. Now look, they're inexpensive brushes. The stencils I make myself. This is just from another file separator, and I just got a single cheap $2 punch, and as you can see, the files are just folded and punch. So that's it there. I'll have to go and wash that in a moment, and then I will come back and I will actually do some little, I haven't got any copper on there, so perhaps I'll do a swish of copper. No, it just might get a bit too messy. I'll stick with plan A instead of jumping to plan D, which is my usual way. And thank you all for your nice kind comments. It's I do appreciate it. I quite like to get down and play, and of course been doing it for quite a number of years, but thought I'd start sharing it a couple of years ago, and then life got in the way, and so I'm back doing it again. So right, so I'm just going to do some, here we go with our gestural marks again, which, you know, if you've watched any of my videos, you'll know that I just love these lines, because remember that these are all going to be cut, so it's just like a little collage, isn't it? So wherever it is, and they're just the little fine lines. Now this paper is 250 GSM, and the and it's just what you put in a normal copier, so it's inexpensive when you buy ream. And of course the paints are inexpensive, apart from a few golden paints that I have, which are beautiful paints, but they are expensive when you do a lot of playing like I do, especially in Australia. They may be a bit cheaper in America, but in England, but they're certainly not cheap here, but they're nice for a treat. Yeah, everything is inexpensive that I use. I don't use any, but you can still achieve, just by playing, achieve a good result. So I shall cut that up when it's dry, and I'll show you the results next time. Well, thanks for popping by, and I hope you all stay well. Bye for now.